Someone asked this question, semen retention and prostate health. They had said that if you type into Google, something about semen retention and what it'll do to my prostate, it says that if you don't ejaculate or have sex or masturbate enough, like you're going to get some sort of prostate issues. Where is that coming from? Who is saying that? There's a lot of these doctors and researchers and people coming up with these answers. I mean, just look at them. Having someone, just because they have the title of medical doctor and they're telling you about your being in good health, but they they weigh 250, 300 pounds. They don't exercise. They eat like crap, but that's what the book says. So, again, where is that coming from? Who is saying that stuff? Who's saying that you're going to get prostate cancer? Okay, well, it was some research study done 15, 20 years ago. And again, like, I don't know. All I know is that the practice of semen retention, eating clean, healthy food, taking care of myself, being out in nature, getting plenty of sleep, not just engaging in these dopamine habits have made me I've never been healthier. I mean, we got to start looking inside for these answers, right? What is like your intuition saying? Obviously, if you're doing semen retention, there's no easy feat to be doing this. You talk to most people, most guys about semen retention, and they'll literally like think you're nuts. What do you mean I don't like constantly engage in these dopamine habits and masturbating and porn and constantly chasing women and sex? Like, look at them, right? Like, I mean, what is the higher intelligence inside of you saying? I mean, that is the only, for me at least, that's the only thing that I really look at. Yeah, if I, break my arm or, have some sort of crazy disease that's going to kill me or something, yeah, I'm going to the doctor, because like there is a place for that type of Western medicine and in the very mental models that they run through, right? The very logical research explanation. Like, I mean, there is a place for that, but if it's not for those very specific reasons, like I've personally found that it doesn't help me. It just makes me stressed out. There's so many people that just because they have this title, they this title of I'm a doctor, I'm a physical therapist, I'm this, that means they should know the answers. And most don't. I have no idea. They're just full of reading endless research papers and textbooks and just listening to what people have told them, right? And the fact of the matter is this collective world, this collective majority world that's run by this matrix that we're living in. Of course, people are going to say to ejaculate and to have sex and to look at women and watch occasional porn or like whatever people say, because that's just a dopamine hit, right? People will say, well, that's why people do it, because they're doing it too. Like, they don't want to give it up either, And so, see for yourself. I mean, how does your prostate feel? How does your prostate feel doing semen retention? Do you feel better and more grounded and more, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like empowered. Do you feel more empowered, doing semen retention and abstaining from these constant dopamine hits for no reason and conserving that energy and channeling it into something else? I mean, ask yourself, right? I mean, this is, and that's the hard part about this type of practice, man, and going along this journey, is that all the cards are just completely stacked against you, right? You tell anyone, 99% of people, like, oh, I'm doing semen retention, they're gonna be like, why? Like, what are you getting from that? Like, why don't you just, masturbate a few times a week and get that dopamine hit and get sedated, and all the anger is gonna go away, and all the stuff that we're refusing to look at as a society is going away. It's just gonna go away. I mean, for me, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It might not be for you. Like, respect, right? I mean, do what you're gonna do. I mean, it's fine, For some people, they need to be doing that. Some people need to be doing that and having sex and just staying sedated and focusing on the surface level things of life. And what does the textbook say? What does all that say? We need those. Those people need to exist, and there's a place for them in this big game that's going on. So it's fine, right? I guess I'm talking to the people that, when they listen to a video like this and listen to a dialogue like, we're talking about now, there's this little voice that inside that says, yeah, I get that. I might not even fully understand it, but something in me, there's something inside that just clicks with this. Those are the people I'm talking to. I'm not trying to convince people to do this. Like, I'm talking to the people that already get this on some level. Like, I don't, you can sit here and say, and do all the arguing and the debating with, and bring me the research studies and all this stuff. Fine. Like, it's cool. Like, go believe that. Listen to that. It's fine. Like, it's, we're all on our own journeys, on our own path. It's not personal. Like, it's not. When I was going through, I mean, I have a series of chronic health issues, got a lot of chronic pain in my body, and, I just have pain in my body all the time, and it's just how it is. I have a very overactive nervous system, right? A very sensitive nervous system, and I feel pain and these chronic issues on a subtle level that 99% of people don't. And I spent all of these years going through the Western medicine, wheel of the cog that is Western medicine, talking to all these doctors and physical therapists, and it just wasn't helping me, because everything they were telling me it just intuitively, it might work for some people, but like intuitively, it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. It still doesn't. And I had to go and find my own answers. And the only way I was able to do that was through accessing my own intuition. There's some things that medical providers had told me that if I had kept doing, it would have brought me, it would have kept me in more pain. So, I had to go all over the planet, to all the spiritual hearts of the world and find these answers that for me personally, like, I can't, and even me, I can't sit here and give all the answers either. I don't know them all. Like, it's just so funny how people that don't know, that think they know, are the ones that'll tell you that they know. The short answer is there's no perfect research study, no perfect textbook knowledge for every single human being on this planet. We're all so different. Because how is someone that doesn't have a sensitive nervous system, that doesn't feel chronic pain on a subtle level every day like me, going to understand what that feels like? They're not. There's no way that you're going to understand that. For whatever reason, Grace put this really sensitive body nervous system into me, and for a while I was like, why do I have this? Why am I in pain all the time? But the reason like, now I know that it's that I could access these spiritual principles on such subtle levels that most people just can't. Or, not that they can, I mean, it's just, it might not be their time. For me, it was just my time to hear some of these things and to understand some of these things in myself. It doesn't make me better, it just, I don't know, it's just how, it was just time, that was it. There's no, it's just like some, I don't know. It's just, you can't force it, right? So, As far as the prostate health and listening to this world and this matrix and all this, I mean, how does it feel for you? Like, is what's being told to you feel good, or does it not? And if it doesn't, then maybe start looking at something a little deeper, accessing that subtle intuition, that higher intelligence that's perfectly tailor-made for your journey. Okay. There's a balance, though. I mean, we have to have that Western medicine as well. I don't hate it. There's no problems with. I mean, there's holes in every single perspective of this, I guess. So I hope everyone has a great day.